going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of We Need to Talk. This is episode 429. Shout out to everybody who's been paying attention, everybody who has been supporting the show, showing love, comments, likes, shares, subscriptions, all of that kind of stuff. Getting in tune with the information. The whole purpose of this show is for you to grow, for you to gain from it, for you to progress, and for you to manifest the things that you are asking for and the things that you deserve to have. So I stand as a disruptor of the status quo. And I stand to help you in your journey to overcome barriers that you created and perpetrated and barriers that you didn't. In order to get you to where you want to go. So shout out to everybody who's a part of the Patreon gang, all of my coaching clients, everybody who is a part of the Happiness Decoded, family. It's always great to see your progress as well. So shout out to you. If you do want to receive one-on-one coaching and you want to be in a position to grow and change and to have that customized attention and to be able to have access to those strategies to help you get where you would like to go, and to overcome those mental and emotional barriers, be sure to click the link in the description, and that'll get you there. Warmer Black, what's up? What's up to everybody watching? So tonight, we are discussing when to introduce the kids to your partner, mate, whoever you're dating. It's a topic that's come up, and a friend of mine brought it up earlier, and it's something that I felt like was a great topic and wanted to kind of explore it, because I do know a lot of people who are in positions where they don't understand, or they don't know whether or not it's a good idea, when is best to do so, because there's risk factors in the process. If you do have children and you are dating and you are looking to gain a partner, that whoever that person is, not only is it a delicate situation just bringing them in to adjust to a new relationship, but the children can and most likely will be hugely affected if this relationship doesn't go to distance, or if you have chosen improperly and this person either abandons the family or doesn't exercise any sort of discipline within their own emotional expression, just meaning like being abusive or having a side to them that was not evident in the early stages of when you were dating them, but has come out since. And that's always a scary thing. It's a mystery. It's a mystery, even just dating a person, period, for how they're going to treat you, let alone how they may affect your child. And then, the bonding process between them, or the discord that could happen between your child and this other person. Or if that person that you're dating has a child as well, and there's favoritism, or the two children don't connect and they have conflict, or there's all kinds of possibilities to trying to predict how something can go. And for a lot of you, it may push you in the direction of just not wanting to do it in the first place, or avoiding it for a long period of time. And this can be kind of a struggle point, right? So I want to kind of help you guys navigate. And I will start by saying there is no definitive time frame that can make it all work out. Like there is no magic time frame per se. But I will give you the principles of making the most successful transition or introduction of your child to a partner or potential partner that you can. Because any and everything can happen, but you want to be smart and you want to calculate risk and you want to be sure that your choosing power is top notch. So, first order of business, when you are dating, are you in a place where you are healed enough to date effectively? Um, and I will say, if you are dating from a standpoint or a basis of fear and anxiety, you are creating a potential, or you're raising the odds that the person that you will pick will be the wrong person to introduce them to. So we have to start. It's not about how long, it's about who you're even attracting, period. And are you in a space where you should even be dating in the first place? Because let's be honest, I'm somebody, especially when we're talking about physical health and all these different things, I'm a preventative type of guy. I don't want to end up, my diet is superb right now. If I told you what I eat on a daily basis, you'd be like, no, you don't. But I exercise discipline now because I'm preventative. I don't want to be fast forward, I'm 60, 70, and I got, I get pushed into a corner as far as being restricted what to eat because my life's on the line, or I already have something that's aggressive that I have to try to battle with. I'd rather do the work now. And I think this keys into this process as well. You want to make sure before you get even to the point of when is the best time? Look, let's start with the fact that, or the question of, should you even be here dating anybody? And if the answer is no, then the process of healing should begin. And I want you guys to check my earlier videos on how to know if you are healed, because it is a proactive process. Again, I want to stress this point too. It's not how long you took off from dating. I think the misconception sometimes is, okay, I had a relationship 3 years ago. My last relationship was 3 years ago. So I waited long enough. I feel ready. But that relationship carried some trauma with it. It carried some emotionally charged events with it. It carried some infidelity or some major scarring events, along with the trajectory of the previous relationships, even before that. So, by virtue of you attracting that person and the people prior, means that there's something that has to be purged. There's a rebalancing that has to happen. And if it doesn't, you are still operating with the same mindset. No matter how many years you take off, you can take 10 years off, you can take 15 years off. If you have not corrected the energy, mindset, core beliefs, thought processes, and thought patterns that enabled you or pushed you to choose those people, you will choose wrong again. And this is not a debate. It's not even a game. Like, so the first order of business, if you value your children and you value yourself in your future life, and you want to be as predictive as possible or preventative as possible to not end up in situations where you got to explain why this person acted the way they acted, explain why this person abandoned the family, explain why we fighting every night. You don't want to create the nightmarish environment to begin with. So one of the easiest ways to know if you're even ready to be choosing is, are you happy now or before this person? Were you in a happy, stable, positive space before this person showed up, who you're even considering, right? And does this person satisfy all of your standards? And further, among those standards for you, what are the standards to look for your child or your children, right? Because if you do have children, you're not just dating a person. You look for those qualities between you and them, and the qualities that translate to the children as well, right? Because if you date somebody who dislikes kids, you're starting on the wrong. You're gonna have a problem. If you're dating somebody who cannot control the way that they express themselves, you're gonna have a problem. If you're dating somebody who does not want to commit to you and the kid, they just want to commit to you, and they don't want to be uh, a parent or a step parent or fill in a slot with that child that you have, you could run into a problem. Because I don't know many people who just want to compartmentalize like that and just have you dating somebody, but then they don't see your kid. Then what's the point in introducing them then if they're never going to be interacting, right? So I think in most cases you want to create a family type of unit, and if this person isn't looking for that, and you're pulling that person into that picture, and that's not what they set out to do, that's not what they're looking to do, you're going to have a problem. And it's going to show itself. And instead of moving forward just to see what happens, you can stop it where it is. The same way I always teach to be harsh negotiators and make sure that you are holding to your standards. You're not going below your standards, but you're negotiating with your standards in mind, and you're not lowering the bar. You have to do the same for your kids, if not more, when it comes to the standards that relate to them, because they don't have the defenses you have. They don't have the ability to mature things or to process things in a mature fashion the same way that you do. If this new person goes crazy, that's going to scar them differently than it's going to affect you as an adult. Are you willing to create that type of atmosphere or to welcome that type of atmosphere because you don't want to take your time and vet this person out fully to be sure that they not only want you, but they want the child that you're coming in the game with? You and your child are inextricably linked. If the person only wants you, or you're only concerned about how they feel about you, you're going to have a problem. And I'll tell you this, being somebody who has worked with a lot of young clients or a lot of young adult clients countless times, work with families as well, countless times, 17-year-old, 16-year-old kids, mom gets a new boyfriend, all hell breaks loose. She switches it up. She's not there for the kid anymore. She's not listening to him anymore. She let the boyfriend talk to him any kind of way, right? And this is 16 and 17. These young kids are feeling upstaged, feeling like somebody can just, that's a vulnerable position to be in. Have a relationship with a parent, and then somebody new come in and the whole program switches up. That's disloyal. So before you get swept up in some kind of romantic need type of thing, you want to properly vet this person for your life and your child's life and screen them to make sure that they fill all of the standards. They check all of the boxes necessary. And I'm not talking from a passive point. I'm not talking about, okay, they never abused nobody, so we good. You got to make sure that that person wants to be a part of this unit and embraces the fact that it will entail this other child to be a part of it. So it's a two-part process. You have to, one, make sure you are in an adequate space to choose from a healthy, additive standpoint. Not I'm moving from need, I'm moving from desperation, I'm moving from loneliness. No, if that's the space you're moving from, you are already setting the stage for your children to suffer the consequences of you choosing from a knee-jerk, fear-based, anxiety-based standpoint. That can't happen. If you are moving into dating from a readiness, from a wholeness, from a completeness, from a happy standpoint to say, I would like to add somebody to my life at this point, to add to my energy. You vetted them for you as far as your standards. Standards are met. That's the two part. You're ready to choose and the standards are met. You check the standards for you and the lifestyle that you live with your child. Both standards have to be a critical part of your decision-making process. It's not about you, it's about both. It's about everything. Can everything work? Because I think the problem is sometimes if you're moving from that anxious desperation, you'll cut corners. When you're moving from fear, you will cut corners to get to the goal. And you will pick the person without looking at everything because you know that they may satisfy physical, companionship, certain areas, financial. They may fulfill that. Emotional intelligence, maybe not. But you haven't questioned them on anything about this kid. You may get to a point where you don't even look at that side of the board. And then what ends up happening, drama sets off, some sort of either conflict, negligence, or change in your behavior. That child doesn't even have to see that person. If you start changing your behavior on account of this new person and prioritize them over your child, the child feels that. Your child will feel that and grow resentment and have abandonment issues as well. And you will create a new dating cycle where you are duplicating those issues that you're dealing with into your child and have them dealing with voids and gaps and desperation and anxiety and insecurity and running into toxic partners just like you did. And that can't be the cycle that we have moving forward, especially for the sake of the children, if for nothing else. So that's your process. And if, and only if, you can satisfy both requirements, that's your wholeness, you're being healed, you're being at a happy, fulfilled, top level space of growth, and not from a need standpoint, but from an adding standpoint. That's one box. Second box is, are all of your standards met, including your standards for how you want your child to be treated? You may have to write these out. You can't go free flowing all the time. You might have to write those out and create an exhaustive list and physically check through the boxes. Because if they only satisfy one aspect as it relates to you, but then the children are missing in the process and you haven't vetted them for them because you're the protector of the kids. Don't no energy hit them that don't go past you first. So if you're going to be the gatekeeper, you got to keep the gate. So if both of those can be satisfied, then it's all intuition from there. Because the major foundation is already set. You got to make sure all of those boxes are checked, because sometimes, again, if you're moving from fear, you know, and you also may try to rationalize, they good for me, it feels right, but not asking them how they feel about, the kid and stuff like that, or that process, because you know how they feel, and you don't even want to have that dichotomy, or to be able to have to choose to leave them alone. Some of us get to a point where we are so anxious about being lonely that we don't fully examine a person, because if we know, we start digging, we know that we'll come up on something, some red flag that's too obvious for us to justify and rationalize, and we'll have to cast them away. We don't want to push stuff away. But the only time in life where we can't afford to deny a plate of food is when we're starving. And if you're dating while starving, you shouldn't be dating in the first place. You got some work to do. That will always put you in a negative spot, and by proxy, it will ruin your kids' lives at some point. So hopefully this gave some clarity, and I want you all to be courageous enough to discard what's not for you and your child. And that's another indication that you're healed. If you can't turn something down, you done ran the scan. This person's a 50% of what you're asking for, half the list of your standards, and you can't bring yourself to discard this person. That's an indication right there you're not ready to be a part of this process yet. Because you're not only endangering yourself by keeping somebody around who's potentially toxic, you're endangering your child as well. So this is serious stuff, and it deserves the type of scrutiny that it does for your own life. I don't believe in cutting corners for nobody, for them or for you. So if you're going to bring somebody into your life to begin with, you got to first make sure you're ready for that, and make sure that that person is the right person to be a part of that process. So again, thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to subscribe. Please make sure to hit the like button. Make sure you share the broadcast as well. Again, if you're looking for one-on-one coaching, you'd like to set up a Zoom consult, please tap in with me. Hit the link in the description box. Make sure you guys connect with me ASAP. Get you a slot in the calendar, and we can talk strategies, because this is not, these are areas that require proactive work. They require specific strategies on an incremental basis to make sure that you can make the shifts internally, so that your energy, your belief system, your aura, your expectations, everything is aligned, so that you can not only reach that unconditional internal happiness space, but also be able to locate it, identify it, and identify what's not it, because we're not into the game of growing and then choosing below where we are. It's happiness at all costs. So you guys have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow.